Alrighty folks, so today we're going to be working on building two more of these things right here. And what this is it's just a giant box, but I use it for feed storage. So for the stuff like the feed for the laying hens, pig feed, broiler feed, actually the broilers and the turkeys both eat the same thing. All that stuff I get in bulk. So I buy it in a 1-ton tote. It's like a giant bag. And that fits pretty well in a 4-foot by 4-foot by 4-foot box. Now, obviously, since I'm storing this more or less outside, if I don't put it in something that's got a solid wall on it, there's going to be all sorts of stuff that would love to get in here and get a free snack. So this is kind of necessary to put it in something like this. So I've got 2 more tons of feed coming in tomorrow. I've got a ton of pig feed and a ton of broiler feed. So I need to hurry up and get 2 more of these things built so that these are ready to go for when I get the feed back here to the farm tomorrow afternoon. Not quite what I was going for. So I messed up with this one. What I normally try doing is getting, at least for the bottom, with the OBS, there's a smooth side and a rough side, and I try putting the smooth side up, but as you can tell with this one, I put the smooth side down, so every time I was trying to put a screw in, the whole thing would just start sliding around on me, and it made it hard to get some pressure behind it to get the screw to bite and start into the wood. Alright, well, we got both of these things as together as we're going to get them, because since we're getting these in a giant, 1-ton bag, we can't put the tops on yet because I'm going to use a skid steer to bring the bag over and kind of get it centered over top of here, and then there's a chute that you can open up on the bottom of the bag, and all the feed dumps into your bin here. So of course if we're doing that, you can't have the top on there. So this is more or less finished. We just got to get the feed in, put the top on, and then throw a latch on there once that's done, and these will be finished up. Alrighty, well, I'm back from my feed run, and I've got 1 ton of broiler and 1 ton of pig feed. So now we just got to get this unloaded off of the trailer and put into our brand new feed boxes that we put together yesterday. Alright, so I've only used these bins for like 2 tons previously for the layer feed. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out how it is that it's best to do these. And what I've done before is I've put the forks through these loops on the top. I've lifted the tote up and then dropped the feed through the chute in the bottom into the tote. The problem with that is that the totes are probably, I don't know, 5 feet tall. The bins are 4 foot tall. And then, well, actually, by the time you include the loop, that's probably 6 foot. So the skid steer has a 10-foot lift. So by the time that you include the length of the loop, the tote, a chute that comes out the bottom that's probably 1 to 2 feet, that would be like 7-ish feet. And then you got a 4-foot bin. So that's adding up to maybe 11 to 12 feet. The skid steer has a maximum lift of about 10 feet. So to get this fully emptied out into the bin is a little bit of a challenge because it doesn't want to all empty out the bottom. So what I'm going to try doing is knocking out some of these slats that are in the middle of the pallet and seeing if I can have that chute come out through the bottom of the pallet. That way I can lift the tote from below instead of lifting it from the straps above. That'll give me more potential lift taking it from the bottom instead of from the top. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a try because if it works, it's going to be a whole lot easier. Alright, so hopefully what I'll be able to do is have the tote slightly off center here so that the chute can kind of come down through this big opening here, and then we can lift up on the pallet and have the feed go down into the bin. We'll see if it works. Alright, well, we got them both loaded up here. First one, I did have to put a little bit into a trash can. I've got a few trash cans that I use exactly for stuff like this. Different mixes of feeds, like between the laying feed, the broiler, the pig. Depending on what goes into the feed, it ends up being different volumes for the same weight. I mean, it just depends on, you know, how many oats or field peas or corn or, you know, all those different things have different volumes per weight. So it affects how much total volume it is. And so it just so happened that I'm gonna have to look back which one was first, but whatever that one was had a little bit more volume, and it just didn't quite fit into that first cube that we had. But anywho, I'll just throw the lid on that. That'll be probably the first one that I use so that I can get that out of the way. And now we can move both these boxes back underneath the mill house, and I'm gonna be doing like a total clean out of the under part of the mill house here sometime in the near future. I don't know if I'll film that or not, but I'm planning on pulling everything out of here. Some of the stuff that doesn't need to be under here will get, I don't know, put someplace else. I'm gonna figure out a way to kind of better organize some of the stuff under here so that it's a little bit easier to get stuff under if I need to, like access the welder, you know, the 220 outlet for the welder, stuff like that. Make it a little bit easier to use this area underneath here. But for now, I'm just gonna stick these things underneath here so that they're out of the way, out of any rain that we get. And then when I do the clean out, everything's gonna come back out again. I think that'll do it. Alrighty folks, well, I got latches on both these now. You saw me put this one on. This one was a little bit hard to try and get the camera in a spot where you could see it, so you'll just have to take my word. I don't think you can quite see. Maybe you can. Anyway, there's a latch on that side too. So both these are wrapped up, and then like I said, everything here is going to get rearranged so that it's a little bit easier to get to, a little bit easier to get stuff in here other than what's already in here. But that'll be for a different video when it's not getting quite so late in the day. So that is going to be it for today's video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.